I have a lot to catch you guys up on. So I have already recorded that other video with the classroom setup. It's already gone out. You guys have already seen it. You are all giving me so much input and I so greatly appreciate it. But I have to tell you guys, during that entire process of me between filming it and then putting it up, a lot happened. Like a lot happened. So I remember like completely filming that entire video, and there were new recommendations as soon as I got home that came out from our governor. And he basically was just like, I'm recommending this and this and this for different school districts. So I was like, oh my gosh, I've literally just recorded all this video footage. I need to get it up now before everything starts to change. So that Monday, which was supposed to be the Monday that we were going to go back to school, they actually decided to not have us come back, and they decided to push the dates back a week. So I was actually supposed to start the week that I'm recording this. Today is Thursday, and this was supposed to be my last day of in-service before I greeted kids in my classroom tomorrow. We've been pushed back a week. So actually now I'm not going to start until this coming Monday. But they decided to push it back because they really wanted to kind of assess some of the recommendations, get in touch with lawyers, all of the things that the board members end up doing. And it was kind of like a good thing, but also a bad thing that ended up happening. But my grandmother ended up passing away, my dad's mom, and I was able to go to the funeral because this week, obviously, I'm not in school. I was supposed to be, but I'm not in school. So thankfully I was able to go to the funeral service and be with my dad during that. It was very, very small. We were all social distance. We all had masks. It was really hard not being able to be around everyone and hug everyone and do all of the things, but I'm happy that I was there. So that ended up happening. And while I was there, I watched the other board meetings. So they had a board meeting like a week away. So they had a second board meeting. And I really thought that we were going to go virtual for a second there. But then as they started voting for the board members, they ended up voting for us to all come back in person. So long story short, we were delayed a week, but we are still going back in person this next week. So that means I really only have today and tomorrow, and then the schools are closed on the weekends. We can't get in on weekends, and then I'll be back for in-service Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with kids coming next Friday. So I have about a week before kids are to show up in my classroom, and I'm supposed to be ready to greet them happily and excitedly and, all of the things that a teacher does. I have a lot to do because I really didn't touch my classroom. Granted, I was kind of grieving a little bit in there, but I didn't touch my classroom for a little bit because I was like, I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to go virtual. It's going to end up, changing. And it didn't. So now I have a lot that I need to end up getting done. That's going to be okay. It's fine. We're going to make do. So I'm here. I am going to come back on Monday for an in-service, and I need to finish getting my classroom set up. So I'm going to talk you guys through some of the little things that we're going to kind of get done. I want to clean out the back area. I want to set up a projector station, which I'm going to talk to you guys about a little bit. And I need to finalize my desk. So I did figure out my final number, which I'm going to have 20 kids in person. Right now I have about 23 desks, so I can get rid of 3 of them. So I'm going to end up changing a couple of things around, finalizing and showing you guys my little space up here, and hopefully giving you some ideas about, how I'm structuring this year again. So I'm going to go to the back. Let's go and clean up so that we can start making this classroom feel like it's ready for students next week. So here is the back. Remember guys, I had these closets completely filled. To be honest, I had to pack everything as quickly as possible at the end of the year last year. So I just packed it inside of the closets. So here's kind of what I have left. You can kind of see there. I still have a few things inside of this closet that I need to clean out, figure out what I want to do with some of those things. And then finally, there's not much in here, to be honest. So I think I did a pretty good job last week. I did tell you guys that one of the things that I wanted to do was start kind of packing in some of this area over here so the kids can't use this as a location to sit like they did last year. So now I'm going to kind of use it for storage. I am going to cover it so the kids are not messing with it, but it is going to be storage for now. And I need to go ahead and deflate those balloons because they're not going to be able to use them. So that's going to be what I work on for a little bit. I want to just get this area back here looking a little bit better so that I can focus on all of the other things next week. So these little drawers that I have here, or these things here, those are actually the cabinet doors to that. So I'm kind of wondering, is it worth me just trying to put those doors back on versus actually going out and buying fabric? I would say that it's probably worth saving the money and trying to put them back on. I think I'm gonna try it. How to do this? It's always so interesting that when I'm in here and I'm working, time flies so unbelievably fast. I've already been here an hour and I haven't really gotten that much done. So let me show you guys the progress that I've made so far. All right, I'm actually backing up just a little bit so that you guys can get a better idea. So there is the back of my classroom. You can see I got rid of all of, well, almost all of the items. I still need to deal with our makerspace cart, and what I'm thinking about doing is the file cabinet that's back here, I'm actually gonna move it here, right there. So I'm gonna move it there, and I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of stack my tables back there and then put my my makerspace cart back in the back, and that will still let me be able to get to that closet that's back there. So that's kind of the plan. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I can probably do that next week while I'm working in my classroom. And then on this side, the doors, I thought I had screws. Guys, I don't have screws. It'll be all right. We can figure it out. I'm going to ask maintenance and see if they can help me out with that part. But right now, I just have those items pushed against the doors so that I can kind of close it off. But you can see I have 2 more sets of doors that I'm just going to be able to use back here in the very back. Now, in the front of my room, so I have 2 other little spaces over here. I'm just going to use it as my stool storage area. So I'm just going to put my stools there. I will hope and pray, and hopefully I'll have some really good kids right there so that they don't constantly play with them. But that's just gonna be where it ends up staying. So I'm gonna kind of show you guys around one more time. There's my back. I kind of tidied up the little back kitchenette area. And I've gotten all of this little area over here cleaned out as well. So there were a bunch of binders and just teacher resources that I had right here in this little spot. I am going to show you where those went. So if we flip you around, I actually have this closet. Hello. Here. So I put some of those resources over here. I just need to organize it, make it a little bit more tidy. But that's where that is. And I feel like it's really starting to come together towards the very back. The front of my classroom, however, I just kind of shoved all the stuff that was in the back to the front. Sometimes I feel like I don't even know where to start, and I just kind of move the stuff around in my classroom. So here's all the stuff that was in the back. Now I need to just kind of sort through it and start going through each of the little items. But the thing that I want to work on right now is this. So this little kind of cube area that I got from IKEA, which I love these. They're the same as these big bad boys that I have over here. But this little guy last year just kind of held together some of our choice materials. So the kids were doing like coding and some of the other activities. So it just kind of held all of those materials. Now I'm going to set this little thing up, and we're going to make this into like a little projector station. I've never really taught whole group. I've always just taught small groups. So this is going to be a little bit of a new adventure for me. And yeah, I'm only going to be teaching whole group. And I know a lot of people on the last video were commenting about, well, couldn't you do, this idea with small groups? And I'm just not going to do that, guys. I'm not going to try to make things more difficult for myself right now, especially when things are going to constantly be changing. Like, who's to say that we're going to start school, the kids are in here for like a day or two, and they hate it because they're having to wear a mask all day, and their parents pull them out for virtual. There's just no point in me trying to try to do all of the different things. I'm going to stick to the basics. I'm going to still be a good teacher, even though I'm not doing small group. And yeah, I can offer accommodations and differentiation in a lot of other ways. And as we kind of go through the year, I'm going to show you guys that. I think I'm going to end up vlogging a little bit more, just because I want it as a record, but also to kind of share with all of you how I'm kind of incorporating bridging literacy and just teaching whole group and all of those things. So because of that, I have an Apple TV here. Actually, I have 2 Apple TVs in my classroom. We're an Apple district. But unfortunately, this Apple TV is not big enough for my students in the very, very back. So I ended up bringing a little mini projector that I have from home. I used it for when I went to Jamaica with BBT Global. And I'm just going to use a little projector up in the front. Now, some of you are asking, well, why are you just not using a projector from school? Well, unfortunately, because we completely went Apple here, and we were all small groups all the time, there was never really a need for projectors. So we don't really have a lot of projectors here in my school. So that means that projectors are scarce and everyone wants a projector now. I am lucky in the fact that I already have my own projector, so I'm just going to use that and it's going to work out fine. So I'm going to kind of switch up that little area now. I want to also switch around some of my desks. Like I mentioned, I have 23 desks right now, and I only have 20 students coming. And if you didn't notice, I have 4 desks that are short. So we are running into a little bit of an issue with legs, apparently. So a lot of the teachers, when we were trying out all this like cool flexible seating options, we took the legs off of the desks and we were storing them in our classrooms. Well, now we can't find the legs. So funny story, we have to find legs in our building, which one of us teachers has them somewhere in our closets. They're going to come up eventually. But luckily, I'm only going to actually need 2 sets of legs, because these 2 desks right here, I'm actually going to switch it out with those desks that are here. I would like, because I don't want to have just one random desk like over there. I may end up trying to pull this up a little bit more so that I can have like a nice cohesive row of desks, if that makes sense. So we're going to flip around some desks. We're going to move some of these around so I have the 20 that I need. And then I'm going to start setting up this little area for the projector. I also have brown chairs, and then I have the black chairs. And I know some people are probably like, oh my gosh, well guys, it was either the brown and the black ones or the black ones and the bright blue ones. So I decided to go for this. I feel like you can't really even tell, like there's a brown one, there's a black one. Like it's not as noticeable as probably the blue would have been. All right, so let's go ahead and start getting these things switched around. So I did need to have 2 of the small desks, not 1. I have no idea what I was thinking. So I have 2 of the small desks still that I need to get legs for. Not a big deal. We'll find them. They're somewhere in this building. And now I have 20 desks. I have to say, I have this huge space now. So I feel like all of the desks can shift this way just a little bit so that I'm not cramming them against those cabinets. All right, I think I'm gonna work on that. All right, it looks really, really good so far. So long as I don't get any more kids, I'll be good to go. So that fits 20 students, and I think we're about 5 feet apart at this point. So yeah. All right, now let's tackle this. Okay, so I mentioned to you guys that I want to change this into like a projector and even a document camera setup. So that way I can just be able to project over here and I have all of my things kind of in one constant place, since we're not going to be moving a lot of things around. I used to have one of those like carts that you would be able to have a projector on, and I don't have that anymore because I just wasn't using it enough, so I ended up giving it away. who would have thunk that we would have had a pandemic and I still would have needed that cart? So a lot of this stuff, like I mentioned, are going to be like different robots and things that we've used just for coding activities. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stick those off to the side. I'm going to clean this off and start putting some of the materials here that I think I'm going to end up using a lot. In case you guys are curious, these little baskets are actually from IKEA, and what's cool is that the other side is open. They just kind of snap on, so you push it through and they snap on and you have like an extra little tray there, which is really nice. So in case some of you are wondering, I don't know how much paper stuff I'm actually going to be doing this year, just because I really want to make sure my kids feel good with digital stuff, just in case we are going to have to go remote. So that means that I really am going to be doing a lot of things on their devices. So if I was to do any paper items, this would be a really good idea to use as like either things that you need to pass out that day or things that you've collected that you need to grade. I think it's a really easy way to be able to kind of create a system for yourself. So really good idea there. So what I think I'm going to do is actually going to store some of the items that I'm going to use for my board over here. I'm actually going to just store it here inside of this little container. This was a gift that I had gotten from my old school in Alabama. PTO would always give us gifts. So this is something that I have no idea where it's from. And that's what I'm going to end up using. So I'm just going to stick that here. For my little mini projector, I actually have, it has a hermit shell, so I have a little case for it, which is really nice. But it is exactly what I told you. It's a little mini projector. So flipping cute. So here's my little projector, like super itty bitty, but this thing is a champ. So I'm gonna have my projector here, probably on this side, just because I know what side I like to work with. And then I have a Hue document camera that I got. So I'm going to be using a Hue camera just in case, again, I want to model anything. I don't really think I'm going to end up using it. But let's see if I can get it in. There it goes. But just in case, I figured it'd be good to have it here. So I'm going to have my Hue document camera set up here. That way I have a nice little setup. So now I just have to figure out how to get this place some power. I'm gonna end up putting my substitute binder over here just because, I mean, if I was to get sick and I'm quarantined, I'm gonna have lots of different procedures. I'll show you guys the sub binder a little bit later. I do have a video that I did back in January. You guys can go and check it out. I'll leave a link somewhere so that you guys can go and look for it. But there I explain the entire setup for my sub binder and what that looks like. I really go into routines and procedures and how to kind of create a normal schedule, so that in case somebody was to have to come in, they have the ability to just kind of read over and get a general idea of what the flow is like, and really kind of implement anything that they feel like they can implement. So it's all about setting up those routines and procedures. So that's what I'm going to put here, including some of the other little binders and things like that I know for a fact that I'm going to be using. So let me finish getting this set up and I'll show you guys the finished product. Not sure if that's going to be long enough. This being too tall. All right, so here's my little setup. You can see I have my little mini projector there. That makes it easy to see for my students who are seated all the way in the very back of the classroom. So there's my classroom in the back. And here's kind of what the little final product of this actually looks like. Well, it's not final. To be honest, I still have to put all of my little binders and everything else in there. But I ended up putting the little drawer system that I have for my graded papers because it needed to be higher up. So there's my graded papers. It'll be easy for me to be able to just put anything in there that I need to. I have a spot for my webcam, and if I don't, or not the webcam, but the Hue document camera, and if I don't actually use it, I can always just stick it, I can always just stick it down here. So then that way I have a spot to be able to place my laptop, and then I can just take out my document camera if I need it. So there's my little space. That's a hot mess. But it looks good. The picture looks good. Everything ends up looking nice, and it's nice and small and compact. So that is it for today. It's already 3 o'clock. I need to get home so that we can go and pick up Ian from school and see how his first day went. And they start to close the building down, I think, at about 3:30. So I need to go ahead and start packing up my things, head out of the building, and just go spend a little bit of time with my family, which will be really nice. I got some stuff done. I didn't get as much as I wanted to get done, but I am going to have more videos of these coming out quite a lot, actually. So if you guys want to go ahead and hit that notification bell just so that you can be notified every time I upload a video, you can. Also, subscribe if you have not already. My name is Bridget Spackman. I'm a multi-age teacher in Central Pennsylvania, but today, during the pandemic, this year, I'm going to be teaching all 5th grade. So come on over, join me. I love literacy. I love chatting to you guys about organization, productivity, all of the things that can really help you be an effective teacher in the classroom without losing your minds, I feel like. So come and join me over on this channel, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and please hit the thumbs up. And I love your comments, guys. Last week's video just blew my mind with how many of you were commenting, and I want to thank you all so very much for doing that. It truly does mean a lot to me. So leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think of the setup and how it's going. And if you have any recommendations, I'd love to hear from them, especially if you're somebody who is already working in the classroom during the pandemic. Let me know how it's going, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little stressed out about it. But thank you all so much, and I will see you all next time. Bye.